hand technique here is a little bit different than before, but still you're pushing down with the fist. And then I'm coning up, but it's a smaller shaped cone, see? Across. And then I still want to get my outside here with that bottom nice and round, because you always got to start off with a round base. If the base isn't round, then how are you going to have the top part of the clay be round? And that's what centering is all about, is getting it round. So if I use this wood tool here, you can see the different colored clays already. Makes for a nice photo. Okay. So here we go. Now, like the porcelain, I had to be careful working it. Same thing with the marbleized clay, because I actually have two clays, and every clay has its own little personality. So what I'm doing is we're kind of dealing with a pot that is a split personality here, but that's okay. We can handle it. But see, I'm going a little slower, and I'm going to slow down my steps so you guys can see. You know, slowing it down. And the bigger it gets, you want to go slow the wheel down. This is a nice wood tool. You always want to push down, especially when you're doing a bowl. You want to push down really hard, because the floor, the base of your piece, I mean, if you really think about it, a bowl, half of the piece is just the bottom of the piece, you know, because it's an open form. It doesn't really have as tall a wall. But one thing you want to do is get our needle tool like this, and we do a little test. That's a good base, because I'm going to trim that out. So that's a good thickness. You don't want it too thin or too thick, so I'm right on target there. And now I'm going to really get this clay. Listen to me here. Zamboni that. You know what I mean by Zamboni? It means you get the bottom nice and smooth, like a Zamboni machine at an ice rink. You know that ice rink? I like to spin around on the pottery wheel, especially with this marbleized clay. It's a lot of fun. So I'm going to show you here. This is like my Star Trek move, but instead of bending my wrist like this, I'm going to keep my wrist straight, and it's going to come out like this. Instead of going straight up like a pot, it's going to come out. And then this hand just kind of catches it, see? More agua here. More Zamboni on the base. And now I'll show you here. We got a couple bubbles. And whenever I have a bubble, you want to hit it with a needle more than once. Make a little Swiss cheese of that bubble, because when the come around to pinch it again and pull it, give the air more than one place to escape. You know, in a back door, you know, a little backdraft. Just like that movie with John Travolta. I shouldn't be talking about this, but here we are. Going for another pull. You want to keep it nice and thick here on the top, because you're going to open up. You need that thickness where your diameter is going to increase. So that's where that thickness is going to go. You want to keep that inside nice. You want to get a nice form, because the bowl is important, because guess what? That's what people look at, the inside of a bowl. Once in a while they look at the outside, but inside that's the piece. So, you can see I got a couple more bubbles here, so I'm going to hit those bubbles. Look at this one here. Hit it a couple times. could just push them down without the wheel going around. That works good too. Okay, so my thickness is pretty much where I want it to be. So I'm going to use my wood tool, and you're going to see the marbleize in full effect. And see, this round wood tool is nice for a bowl because you don't want it to have a corner there. You want it to flow and have a beautiful shape. And I'm going to use this tool here this way. See how the slip gets scraped off with the wood tool, and you can see the beautiful marbleizing effect. And this is what we call two-tone marbleized technique, I guess. There's a lot of words for it. In Italian they call it chiaroscuro, or something like that. You can use your regular wood tool too, especially for the rim handle. And I can use my chamois again. Probably the chamois would be the best, because even with this marble effect, it's throwing my eye off. It's hard to see, the shape exactly. See how that chamois makes nice work of that? Real nice. When you pick up the platter, it's got a real nice feel. So I'm just going to hit the power on that. And then in order to wire this, I'm going to open up this ship. Because when you do a plate or a platter, sometimes it's really hard to get. You got to get down. That's what this one was out in Berkeley, California at the Potter Studio years ago. And there was a Korean woman there named Kim, and she was real short. And she said, "Dave, you got to get down real low to wire a piece. You got to really get right down there with her, and right on that level." See that? That's what you got to do. I'm going to wire it again. Really, see how I'm really down low here? You're going to really see what you're doing. Don't just leave it up to chance. Alright, and now I'm going to get my pick or my screwdriver, and I'm going to pry that back right off of there. Oh yeah. So see that? See how the back